Our coverage tonight begins in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where the Federal Executive Council has approved a national budget proposal of 47.9 trillion naira for the 2025 fiscal year. Budget and Economic Planning Minister Atiku Bagudu announced this after Thursday's FEC meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu. This budget proposal forms part of the Medium Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF, for 2025 to 2027, in line with the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007, and will be submitted to the National Assembly. The MTEF outlines a projected GDP growth rate of 4.6%, an exchange rate of $75 to the naira, and oil production at 2.06 million barrels per day. President Tinubu previously approved a 28.7 trillion naira budget for 2024, followed by a 6.2 trillion naira supplementary budget. Still talking budget, Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevwori on Thursday presented a 936 billion naira appropriation bill for the 2025 fiscal year to the State House of Assembly. Governor Oborevwori said the budget, christened Budget of Fiscal Consolidation, was made up of recurrent expenditure of 348 billion naira, representing 37.25%, and capital expenditure of 587 billion naira, representing 62.75% of the total budget. He said the 2025 budget is 211 billion naira more than the 2024 approved sum of 725 billion naira, indicating an increase of 29%.
Present to you a budget proposal of 936 million, 78 million, 815,719 naira only to execute projects and programs of government in 2025. This amount is made up of 348 billion, 717 million, 758,635 naira only as recurrent expenditure, or 37.25%, and a capital expenditure of 557 billion, 361 million, 60,004 naira only, or 62.75%.
Let's now tell you that the body of the late Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, arrived in Abuja at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, where it was received with a guard of honor and military tribute. Funeral events begin Thursday with a service of songs, followed by his interment on Friday at the National Military Cemetery in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu expressed heartfelt condolences to the Lagbaja's family and the armed forces, honoring his distinguished service. Appointed in June 2023, Lagbaja served as Chief of Army Staff for over a year and played key roles in vital military operations nationwide. He is survived by his wife, Maria, and their 2 children. To the oil sector now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has inked a landmark 10-year agreement to supply natural gas to Dangote Refinery, a significant step towards bolstering local production and industrial growth. Announced on Tuesday, the deal between NNPC's subsidiary, NNPC Gas Marketing Limited, and Dangote Refinery will deliver 100 million standard cubic feet of gas daily to the refinery in Lagos. According to the NNPC spokesperson, Olufemi Shoneye, the supply includes 50 million cubic feet as a firm commitment and an additional 50 million on a flexible basis. This partnership aims to support the refinery's operations and strengthen Nigeria's domestic gas usage, marking a shared commitment to enhancing energy security and industrial capacity for the country. To discuss this, we're joined by Temitope Kolade as business and energy analyst. Thank you for joining us. What are the potential economic implications of this partnership for Nigeria, including impacts on GDP growth, employment, and foreign exchange earnings?
Thank you very much, Felicity, for having me. I think to start with, that agreement is localized to the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals Free Zone enterprise. And what we expect is that it basically gives us maybe a better glimmer of hope in terms of what we should continue to expect in terms of domestic utilization of gas to power industries in Nigeria. If Dangote will be self-reliant, it will probably also tell people that they could begin to have power plants that they would get domestic gas to power within the country. Other than that, I think that in terms of employment opportunities and all of that, we already have those being created by the Dangote refinery already. And it's basically just saying to us that maybe on an incremental basis, we can expect that much more, or at least more industries will begin to follow suit and begin to see the possibility of getting gas supply to power their industries. And that also aligns in some way with this sort of move to ensure that people can basically have power without having to stay on the national grid, do some mini-grid solutions. So I think that's really the direction to which this is pointing.
It does sound good on paper and from what you're saying. How will this gas supply agreement affect the competitiveness of Dangote refinery in the global market? And what are the potential export opportunities for refined petroleum products?
Well, energy is one key thing that powers industries and manufacturing generally, and we can classify the sort of refining business that Dangote is doing at the free zone areas, indeed, in manufacturing business, because what it's doing is blending, it's refining and all of that. So that's manufacturing. And when you look at the cost profile of most manufacturing companies, energy will typically account for a very huge aspect of that. So in terms of competitiveness, it means that apparently Dangote would have some self-reliance and then to supply the energy needs to power that industry to work effectively. The other thing is that you wouldn't have to depend on the sort of epileptic national grid that we've had in recent times. One way to ensure that we have power sufficiently is to always have that gas supply. So to the extent that that gas supply would be consistent enough, it means that it can run effectively, just like you would expect any other industry of its nature and size to work across the world. And typically what they would rely on is something similar, whether they are powered by gas or nuclear or whatever coal that powers other industries of the same size across the world.
What are the challenges and risks associated with ensuring a stable and reliable supply of natural gas to the refinery,
so
particularly?
Really, I think that it's
okay, I think the network is impeding your contributions. If you can hear me, I'm trying to find out from you, considering how what we know about this sector, how can we ensure a stable and reliable supply of natural gas to the Dangote refinery? Okay, I think we'll probably have lost Temitope at this moment. We'll try and reconnect if possible. Temitope, if you can hear me, can you confirm?
I can hear you.
Okay, did you get my question? I think the network was acting up a bit.
Yes, I didn't quite get the question.
Okay, I'll just repeat. I wanted to find out from you some of the challenges and risk that is associated with giving Dangote refinery natural gas, supplying them natural gas when you consider Nigeria's historic issues with gas production and infrastructure.
Well, it means that, of course, the NNPCL and indeed other upstream actors have to do much more to ensure that they will not renege on this sort of commitment. I think that's really what it is about. We expect that more companies, and again, because of the couple of fiscal and policy incentives that the government has been putting out there with respect to gas operations in recent times, the expectation is that you would have a lot of investment going in this direction. And I'm aware that a couple of players are looking at developing their gas infrastructure at the moment. So maybe, again, this gives that courage that TB and that encouragement that if indeed we have off-takers of the size of Dangote and maybe other ones to come on board, the upstream actors would want to do much more in terms of expanding their investment into gas. But again, I think it's really about looking into the future and giving some hope to people to say, maybe this is one way to go.
Temitope, thank you as always for speaking with us.
Thanks, Melvin.
Away from that, President Bola Tinubu has appointed 3 new directors general and 1 special advisor on public communications and media. Notable among the appointment is Daniel Bwala, a former aide to Atiku Abubakar. Bwala has been appointed Special Advisor, Media and Public Communications for the State House. The other appointees are Olawale Olokbade to serve as Director General, National Sports Commission, Abisoye Fagade as Director General, National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism, and Adebowale Adedokun, Director General, Bureau of Public Procurement. In a statement by Bayo Ananuga, President Tinubu urged the appointees to serve with dedication and patriotism. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Federal Executive Council makes budget proposal for 2025, earmarks 47.8 trillion naira. Remains of former Chief of Army Staff Taoreed Lagbaja arrives Abuja for burial. Governor Monday Okpebholo orders freezing of all state-owned bank accounts pending conclusion of investigations. And Africa Center for Disease Control endorses first locally made test to combat mpox. Thank you for staying with us. Let's head on now to security matters. Residents of Ekenobizi community, Umuopara, Umuahia South local government area of Abia State, northeast Nigeria, are on the run for fear of a reprisal from the military. 3 soldiers were reportedly gunned down on Wednesday by unknown gunmen at a military checkpoint in the town. News Center's Chinwe Ugele has an update on the development.
24 hours after the killing of some soldiers in a Ekenobizi community here in Umuopara, Umuahia South local government area of Abia State, the road is still deserted. It is still empty without vehicular movement. Most importantly, this community is now living in fear.
I don't know, fear has taken over basically. So, but fear of what, actions the military could take, because most probably they lost some personnel and they won't be happy. That's why what has kept the whole place the way it is.
Actually, also, Lihina, I want to go and get on here due to whoever Obodola Bagara, Yabaka be a Vufto Maya. Alaba was a Lihi or Sondo.
Anxiety took over the community. So our children has all run up. Before I could come back, my wife was taking my children away from the community. As at now, I'm still looking for them.
The military is said to have given the Ekenobizi community a 24-hour ultimatum to provide answers to the many questions they have to ask concerning the incident of yesterday that took the lives of some of their soldiers.
They gave us 24 hours to do something and give them information, or we won't enjoy the Christmas.
Okay, that's what the military.
That's what the military said.
Who in particular said that?
The military, their leader, said it before me.
No.
In fact, the military asked us to come and talk to them. They needed information. They needed assurance. It was an opportunity for the people to come and speak on behalf of the village. We are peaceful people.
Unfortunately, the traditional ruler and the President General of this community are said to be at large and unreachable since the killing of Wednesday.
His number did not go throughout yesterday, and that was why the youth had to compel me to come. and speak on their behalf. But unfortunately, the military did not accept it.
Members of the community have denounced the perpetrators of the ugly incident of Wednesday.
Oge ndị obodo anyị mere ihe ọwụ ndị eshi n'ihi na ndị obodo anyị kwa anyị nwecha ma ndị vigilantes ebe a so ha nwa la-arụkwa ọrụ iji hụ sị ha chụkwara ndị ọjọọ.
Whoever may have attacked the soldiers did not come from this village, because before now, it has been a very peaceful community. It has never been in the news for once.
For how long will this Ekeno-busy community stay like this without economic or social activities going on in any part of the community?
The closest market we have, where our women and men go to find their daily bread, is no longer accessible. We can't go to the market.
This is one hit too many as Abia State continues to record more losses of security personnel in the hands of enemies of state. In Omar here for News Central, I am Chinwe Ugele.
Let's now bring you updates on Saturday's governorship election to hold in Ondo State. The defense headquarters has confirmed that troops have been deployed in significant numbers for the governorship election. The DHQ stated that the deployment was to support the Nigeria police and ensure a smooth election in the state. In a statement on Thursday, Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Buba Edward, said the presence of troops would ensure that voters can exercise their franchise without harassment. Buba also reported that various operations in the northern parts of the country led to the deaths of 88 terrorists and the arrest of 228 suspects. In the meantime, in preparation for Saturday's Ondo State governorship election, the government has declared Friday, November 5, 2024, a work-free day for public servants. This move is aimed at enabling them to travel to their respective communities and exercise their civic rights on election day. The Ondo State governorship elections are just around the corner, scheduled for November 16, 2024. This highly anticipated contest has 17 political parties vying for the top spot. News Center's Igbalani Omoni dives into the strengths of the major contenders and what history reveals about the state's election. His report.
The forthcoming governorship election in Ondo State is a pivotal moment in the state's history. It marks the first time that major candidates in an election hail from the same senatorial district, Ondo South. 17 political parties have nominated candidates for the election. The list includes the incumbent governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa of the All Progressives Congress (APC), former Deputy Governor Agbola Ajayi of the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), and 15 others. Historically, Ondo State has been a battleground for the two major parties in Nigeria. The election is predicted to be a two-horse race between Aiyedatiwa of the APC and Ajayi of the PDP, both former deputies to the late Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. The two frontline candidates have crisscrossed the 18 local government areas of the state, presenting their manifestos to voters.
As it is in Ondo State now, my brother is running an illegal system.
Let me first of all talk about his. Somebody who has about 3 different dates of birth on a secondary school certificate.
Since 1999, no political party has ruled the state for more than 8 years. The APC seeks to affirm its strength by winning another 4 years after 8 years on par.
I mentioned it here.
Both had strained relationships with their late boss and survived several impeachment attempts. As the incumbent who controls all local, state and federal elective positions, Aiyedatiwa has a formidable structure that can swing the contest in his favor. A major concern raised by the main opposition party is the potential misuse of incumbency, with issues such as restrictions of access to venues and intimidation of the opposition by state security forces, among others. Both candidates face unique challenges heading into Saturday's election. For instance, the emergence of Olugbenga Edema, the NNPP candidate who hails from Ilaje local government area, same as the governor, and defected from the ruling party after alleging irregularities in its primaries, has generated substantial support, particularly from disaffected members and allies of the late Governor Akeredolu, which could cause disruptions. The PDP has been grappling with a wave of defections following its primaries where Ajayi emerged as the candidate. The outcome has sparked discontent among many party members, leading to high-profile defections to the APC.
I joined because it is time to push for progress in Ondo Kingdom.
And because the leadership is open, that is why every other party is collapsing into APC.
With the election around the corner, pundits are studying the body language of Akeredolu political dynasty and wondering where they will pitch their tent. Though the Akeredolus are members of the ruling APC, they have been at loggerheads with Governor Aiyedatiwa before and after he succeeded the late governor. Pundits are also watching the camp of the former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, 7 in the current APC administration, to see who the group will support. Currently, campaigns are in full gear as various parties canvass for support.
The governorship election for November 16, 2024. The votes will be given to my party, APC.
Our people are resolute, they are ready, the combat ready to vote out APC.
Labour Party is the most popular political party in Ondo State.
The Independent National Electoral Commission reports that no political party nominated a female candidate, while one candidate nominated by the African Democratic Congress is paraplegic. Several factors will determine the winner of the forthcoming election. The PDP's hope on winning the election hinges on the dissatisfaction of the general populace based on the reforms of President Bola Tinubu from the ruling APC. It is believed that Aiyedatiwa's performance or achievements in the last 10 months will determine if he will get the people's vote on Saturday. The outcome, however, is far from certain, as voters may surprise pundits with their choices. In Lagos for News Central, I am Igbalani Omoni.
In the meantime, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has disqualified Olushola Ebiseni as the Labour Party's candidate for the November 16 Ondo governorship election. To discuss this, we're joined by God Bless Otubere, President, ready to lead Africa. Thank you for joining us. What specific measures should the electoral umpire put in place to ensure some level of transparency and to prevent irregularities during the voting and counting processes?
Our important election in Ondo State again. As to what INEC can do is to follow the process, follow the laid-down rules, ensure that all the parties, stakeholders have access to the materials, and ensure that deployment happens without discrimination, and that they do not succumb to the idea that they should deny some voting areas materials so that they would not vote in their numbers. So again, they also need to ensure that their officials are not doing what we saw in Kogi, where they pre-filled election result sheets, and also they should not also repeat some of the mistakes that they made in Edo, where they took the collation center, collation process from the local government collation center and went straight to the state collation center, which again raised a lot of eyebrows and which some people are now in court for. So all of the processes are what INEC needs to just follow. If you look at the distribution of sensitive materials like they always do, you can see that that has been done, and I think there has not been any issue raised so far by any of the parties. They need to continue in that trajectory, and then I'm sure most people in the process would definitely have faith in what is going to happen.
How can INEC enhance security at polling stations and ensure the safety of both voters and election officials throughout the election?
I mean, INEC is not a security agency. They clearly are there to conduct a civil affair. The fact that we are a people in 2024 who cannot conduct elections without security officials there shows how uneducated and backward we are. INEC's responsibility is not to secure the polling location. I just observed the U.S. election. And again, people will go like, oh, U.S. is way more advanced than we are. Well, it's human beings. The people in the U.S. are not people who have metals in their head, or maybe they have chips that controls them. They're human beings who understand that election is a civil responsibility. You go into a school and you vote. Now, another thing that the whole idea of conducting elections outside and putting voting materials outside, I don't know why we keep doing that, right? Voting, units or the machines or the ballot boxes are not supposed to be outside. It's supposed to be inside, a building where people go in. When it's your turn, you go in there, you vote, and you go out, right? And then that is how it is done. So INEC is not going to secure those polling units. It's the police that will secure it. And the police securing it is just to stand to observe a civil process. It is our irresponsibility, our inability to accept that elections are not combat affairs.
The police have already confirmed that there will be security for people at the polls. This time I want to ask, what steps can citizens take to actively participate in the peaceful election and ensure their votes are accurately counted and represented?
Just go ahead and vote. Go out there and vote. That is what it is. Voting. You are making a choice based on the campaigns you've heard, and the political office holders, the political stakeholders, the youths, the people who are part of the community must understand that that is what it is. Now, there is resource control attached to winning. There is economic opportunities attached to winning. But if we hold government accountable, they are going to redistribute that to all the people. So it doesn't have to be that your person was win by violence. So when you ask the question, how can citizens participate? Go out there and vote. If you want to be there when the vote is counted, make sure it is done, and then ensure that the, what do we call them now? The agents of the political parties that are allotted to this polling unit, make sure they do their job. That is what it is. If you can see my frustration, right? This is the most basic of things. We're deploying 36,000 policemen for what? What if we have a crisis in the country in other states? Where are we going to have policemen to respond? Do you know now 36,000 to Ondo means you don't have some policemen in Edo, in Lagos, in Ogun, in what do you call it now? In Oyo. So when we narrowly discuss these issues, and just talk about elections, and when we don't see the broader implication of our actions,
all right, tell me, talk about
do this here. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. We have to leave it there for now. Thank you for speaking with us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
To one of our lead stories tonight, the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebholo, has ordered the immediate freezing of all state-owned accounts in commercial banks, demanding strict compliance from financial institutions and government agencies. Governor Okpebholo issued a strong warning that any civil servant or agency head who disregards the directive will face serious consequences. This action is part of ongoing investigation with future steps to be announced. Nigeria is stepping up its commitment to combat climate change through methane reduction initiatives as the world gathers to negotiate at the COP29 summit. Methane has over 80 times the global warming potential than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period. As such, it is a critical target for immediate climate action. News Center's correspondent Bettina Uweli reports.
In a move aimed at addressing the growing environmental challenges, Nigeria has announced new plans to reduce methane emissions in the country. Methane, a potent greenhouse gas, contributes significantly to global warming and climate change. The Nigerian government, alongside international partners, is pledging more robust actions in line with global efforts to curb these emissions.
Well, in 2021, Nigeria included methane in her indices, and she was one of the first countries that, like US at that same year, that indicated the need to reduce methane as one of the greenhouse gases, not just carbon dioxide, but methane. Why is that important? Because methane, even though it's short-lived, is the impact is way more than way more than what you can have for carbon dioxide. And it's also said that by reducing methane, we're also taking more active proactive steps to reducing carbon emissions in the world, globally. And so we're looking at reducing methane in the oil and gas sector, at the waste, and also agriculture as well.
Nigeria, one of the world's largest producers of oil and gas, has long faced criticism for flaring natural gas, a major source of methane. However, speaking in Baku at the COP29, the Director General of the National Council on Climate Change, N47.8, Nkiruka Madueke, says investing is the way forward.
Methane is a gas that, again, I have to reemphasize it. It's short-lived, but its impacts are more critical and dangerous than carbon dioxide. And so it's a good thing that Nigeria is part of those on the table and bringing this up and saying, okay, so we have to reduce this. Again, important for us, and that was very important thing that we said, that Nigeria said at this meeting today, is come and invest. To reduce methane is carbon intensive. Bring in your technologies. This is a finance COP. And so we have to tell them what are the areas for investment, methane reduction and abatement. Bring your money, let's reduce it. Bring it, invest, and assist us to reduce and abate methane emissions.
The challenges that we are having is that of developing the infrastructure to make sure that every molecule of gas taken is used for the good of the country, and whereby this will bring an end to gas flaring and methane emission. And so I solicit the cooperation of the European Commission to come to assistance and release the fund, the financing that they have been doing with other countries to our country, Nigeria, so that they will be at par with other developing nations.
The COP29 summit offers a platform for nations to showcase their climate strategies and discuss solutions to the most pressing environmental challenges. As Nigeria takes on this ambitious task, the world is watching closely. In Azerbaijan, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
Woven Finance, Nigeria's leading fintech company, has launched its refreshed brand and unveiled cutting-edge financial products at its dual event, Refresh and Lifestyle Expo. The event, held recently, marked a significant milestone in Woven Finance evolution, showcasing its commitment to simplifying and improving financial transactions. New Centra's business correspondent, Juliet Rowland, was at the event and filed in this report.
In a significant move to revolutionize Nigeria's fintech landscape, Woven Finance has launched new products, including virtual accounts, QR codes, scan to pay, payment links, and online payment integrations are designed to revolutionize Nigeria's fintech landscape. These innovative solutions provide seamless money transfers, contactless payments, and efficient online integrations, enhancing the overall financial experience for individuals and businesses.
Confirmation of transactions is very important for our merchants and our customers. So the way Woven has built out our dashboard, we provide real-time information on all customers' transactions directly at the fingertips of our customers, all within their control. So we pride ourselves on being able to give our customers control over how they manage their payments.
What we envision to do is not just to provide convenience, but to ensure that every citizen and every business and every merchant has quick access to financial solutions that will solve their immediate needs.
What Woven is offering right now is speed. You can see during the event, there was a test transaction, and within seconds, milliseconds, settlement has been done and merchants have been settled. So we offer speed, we offer ease of doing transaction, and we offer security you are sure that your payment is secure, your data is protected.
In addition to its innovative fintech offerings, Woven Finance Lifestyle Expo showcased Nigeria's top lifestyle brands, providing attendees with an immersive experience featuring interactive displays, product activations, and a unique blend of tech, fashion, beauty, food, and entertainment. This vibrant expo offered consumers and businesses a platform to engage with brands. Notably, exhibitors expressed enthusiasm about collaborating with the Woven Finance team.
It's perfect for business owners. I love it. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I'm so glad I met them and I'm really inspired.
And Woven Finance, thank you so much for this opportunity. We appreciate you. Best of luck.
The Woven Brand Refresh and Lifestyle Expo showcased Woven Finance's innovative approach and customer-centric focus, with a keynote speaker commending the team's dedication to improving transactional efficiency, intuitiveness, and reliability.
I want to especially thank all of you for being part of this history-making event. It is a great honor to have you support the company in this new journey and in making this vision a reality. God bless Woven Finance. God bless you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Together, we can create innovative solutions that empower our clients and enrich our community. Remember, the journey doesn't end here.
The curtains have closed on the Woven Brand Refresh and Lifestyle Expo, marking a significant milestone for Woven Finance in Nigeria's fintech and lifestyle markets, and the industry will be watching its next move closely.
A round of applause for this team.
The African Union's health agency, Africa CDC, has endorsed a Moroccan-made mpox test, marking a major milestone in Africa's battle against the outbreak. Announced Thursday, this test is the continent's first locally produced PCR test for mpox, capable of detecting the virus from blood, saliva, or tissue samples. The CDC hailed its reliability and efficacy, aligning with the AU's goal to boost Africa's health system's self-sufficiency. Last month, the World Health Organization approved the Alinity MPXV test produced by Abbott for detecting mpox from skin swabs. So far, over 50,000 cases and 1,100 deaths have been reported in Africa, with Central Africa bearing the brunt of the outbreak. Nigeria has successfully increased crude oil production to 1.8 million barrels per day. Lekon Obanjo has more in our business package.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money. The Nigerian government is poised to earn more revenue from the oil and gas sector as the National Petroleum Company Limited, in collaboration with stakeholders, has increased crude oil production to 1.8 million barrels per day. The achievement was announced by the Group Chief Executive Officer, Mele Kyari, during a meeting held at the Oil Production War Room at the NNPC headquarters on Thursday in Abuja and presided over by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lokwobiri. Kyari revealed that NNPCL is now producing 7.4 million standard cubic feet of gas to power the gas infrastructure, particularly the AKK. This is an improvement from the 6.1 million standard cubic feet earlier in the year. The NNPCL boss noted that this accomplishment, which aligns with the government's budget, reflects the dedication of all of its teams in reaching the projections for crude oil production and the price benchmark for the 2024 budget. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government has successfully secured a $134 million loan facility from the African Development Bank aimed at boosting agricultural production, particularly in the seeds and grain sector. This funding was disclosed in a statement released by the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. The Chief Information Officer at the ministry, Erema Antonia, in a statement said the fund will support farmers across the country to increase production of key staple crops, thereby improving national food security.
security. The loan is part of the National Agricultural Growth Support Scheme, Agro Pocket Project, a strategic initiative aimed at enhancing the capacity of Nigerian farmers to meet growing food demands. Marking its 30-year anniversary of collaboration with South Africa, Agence Française de Développement has concluded negotiations for a 7.6 billion rand loan for the implementation of the country's Just Energy Transition Plan. This innovative policy-based financing, the largest ever on AFD's balance sheet, was developed in close collaboration with the JET Program Management Unit in the Presidency and National Treasury to support the country's just dimensions of the JET, maximizing the social outcomes of the energy transition for local communities. According to South Africa's Presidential Climate Commission, the entity entrusted with overseeing and facilitating the JET project, the program is designed to ensure that the livelihoods of communities are tied to carbon-intensive energy sources such as coal and not left behind in the transition to a low-emission economy, and that the energy transition is fair. Finally, citrus growers in South Africa are among the businesses most nervous that duty and quota-free exports to the United States could be scrapped next year when Donald Trump returns to the White House. The fruits are among 1,800 products across 32 African countries benefiting from preferential market access under the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, with companies in South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and Ghana reaping the most dollars in profits. But with President-elect Donald Trump having vowed to impose at least 10% tariff on all imports to the United States, there is no certainty that AGOA will be renewed. Analysts say the legislation, passed in the year 2000 and set to expire next year, could be modified if not withdrawn altogether, with potential negative ramifications for companies and jobs across Africa. And that's all on business news. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Up next is sports news.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
The 2024 Nigeria Premier Basketball League Final 8 tipped off in Port Harcourt today. 8 clubs were drawn in 2 groups, with Boko Chiefs kicking off the day with an 82-50 points win over Police Batons in Group A to stay unbeaten in the league. George Williams led the Chiefs with a game high of 24 points. Hoops and Reed fought hard to ward off Kano Pillars with a 73-66 points win. In Group B, Nile University beat Kwara Falcons 62-45 points, while defending champions Rivers Hoopers dethroned Gombe Bulls 87-56 points. The first 2 teams in each group will qualify for the semi-finals, while the overall champion will earn the sole ticket for the 2025 Basketball Africa League. Super Eagles and Atalanta winger Ademola Lookman has been nominated for the 2024 Globe Soccer Awards. The organizers announced the nominees on X on Thursday, and Lookman will compete with top stars like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, and Erling Haaland for the prize. The 27-year-old finished 14th in the 2024 Ballon d'Or rankings, and he is also in the running for the 2024 CAF Men's Player of the Year award. Lookman has been in fine form for both club and country, scoring 3 goals in 7 appearances for the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. He also scored a historic hat-trick for Atalanta in the final of the UEFA Europa League against Bayer Leverkusen. European football's governing body, UEFA, has confirmed that it has commenced an investigation into a new video which appears to show suspended Premier League referee David Coote snorting white powder while working at Euro 2024. UEFA says it is looking into a potential violation of its disciplinary regulations, having suspended the official earlier this week. The latest video surfaced after Coote was suspended by the PGMOL for a separate video that appeared to show him making derogatory comments about Liverpool and their former manager, Jurgen Klopp. Claudio Ranieri has been appointed as head coach of Roma until the end of the season, 6 months after announcing his retirement. Ranieri has also taken on the role advising the Italian club's owners and will help in the search for a permanent manager. At the end of the season, the 73-year-old will move into a senior executive role. Ranieri, who has managed his hometown club twice before including a temporary stint in 2019, retired in May after guiding Cagliari to survival. His appointment comes after the sacking of Ivan Juric, who lasted just 12 matches after replacing Daniel De Rossi 4 games into the season. Former Italy midfielder De Rossi was manager for 8 months following the departure of Jose Mourinho in January. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoku.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Up next is entertainment.
And now in entertainment tonight. After over 20 years since the first Gladiator film, the sequel is out and it's absolutely worth it. We were live at the truly immersive premiere last night in Lagos, Nigeria, and it was all shades of fun. Let's catch a glimpse of how that went.
Now, guys, it's safe to say that it's epic film season, all right? From Nollywood to Hollywood, the films are blowing up. And this one is super special because we're here for a classic of an epic film, all right? They brought back Gladiator, and after over 20 years, fans are super duper excited, including myself. This one has Denzel Washington in it, and it's going to be fire. Let's find out how fans are anticipating it, what form of action they're expecting, and if we're ready to fight. My name is Sam Dandy. Let's go. Are you a fan of epic films?
Definitely. The epics are like the best.
So you're expecting nothing short of amazing stuff from this one?
Expecting everything, blood, fights, drama, everything. I'm expecting everything.
It's been over 20 years since. Did you think it took too long to give the fans, a sequel?
Wow, so it's 20 years.
20?
Wow, man, that's long. Whoa! I think the only time I saw like the main Gladiator was like on cable TV or something like randomly. But yeah, I'm excited. They took too long.
I think that what doing well, and I think that it's going to be worth our while. So 20 years, it doesn't really matter, 10, 20 years doesn't really matter, so long as we're seeing quality stuff on our screens.
Well, the former one was a classic, still is to today. And I'm not sure if anything else can top that. But there's Denzel on this one, so hey, just might top it.
Now, for a lot of people, there's...
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that is all tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Federal Executive Council makes budget proposal for 2025 earmarks 47.8 trillion naira. Remains of former Chief of Army Staff Taoreed Lagbaja arrives Abuja for burial. Governor Monday Okpebholo orders freezing of all state-owned bank accounts pending conclusion of investigations. We also brought you news that the Africa Center for Disease Control has endorsed the first locally made test to combat mpox. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, on Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Good night.